Hello. Happy Sunday, everybody. I wanted to show you, I've been doing my concealer in a new way because as I age, as we all age, I get these little lines underneath, and so I've stopped using as much concealer as I need to use to cover up the dark spots because it creases under my eyes. Hi, Mindy. So I found this new way to put on my concealer, so I wanted to show you because I know a lot of people can relate to this, that if you use the right, like our concealer is more of like a paste concealer and it's amazing. It will cover a tattoo or anything. But if you, first of all, use too much of it, it's gonna be an issue. But as we age, those little lines underneath here, a lot of concealers will settle into those lines. So I wanna show you this really quick and easy way that I learned. So I'm gonna put on my Touch foundation, and I use our liquid to powder foundation. So let me just put that on. What I'm gonna do is put it on, but I'm gonna avoid the underneath part of my eyes. I don't put foundation on that part of my skin. And then I'm one that, oh, so funny. I know, that's awesome that you haven't had to use it all summer. So I'm gonna put on the Touch liquid foundation, and I'm just gonna drop about 4 drops of this, and I use the color Chiffon on the top of my liquid foundation brush, and I rim it around the outside, and then I just dot it off all over my face like this, and I'm just gonna avoid my under eye area. Hi, Monica. And then with this, you just literally buff it in. It's such a nice, like a serum-like formula. And it's great for us women as we age because it doesn't settle into your fine lines. And it also has kind of a photo blurring property to it that will enhance the way your skin looks. It gives it a softer appearance. And so I'm just buffing this in, and I'm just avoiding that under eye area. Oh, I love the way this stuff smells too. It just has a really light smell. And because it's so light, there's not like a big line, but I usually will take it down my neck anyway. So just avoid the eye area and buff that in, and then it'll dry to this powder matte finish. And then I set it with my setting powder afterwards, but I'm gonna show you now how to do the concealer. And so I use our Touch concealer. It comes in all the same shades that our liquid foundation comes in, which I think starting next month, there'll be, gosh, I don't even know, 15 plus different colors. And so what I do is I just put a tiny bit of this on the back of my hand because it's more of like a paste. It needs to kind of warm up to your skin. So I just put it on the back of my hand, and I use the color Organza, which is about 3 shades or so lighter than my taffeta foundation, because I like to use my concealer as a highlight as well. And so then what I do is I take my concealer brush and I pick up just a little bit of this concealer on my brush, and I'm gonna do it in kind of an upside down triangle. And that's kind of the key to doing concealer. You don't wanna just do this little rim right here, because what you're seeing, first of all, what you're seeing from this is as we age, the skin thins there. There's not a lot of fatty material underneath where that skin is laying on top of blood vessels and bone and stuff. And so that's why as we age, we get that kind of little trough area and we get that darkness there. And so when you do your concealer, you want to go down so that you're highlighting the whole upside down triangle area, because what you're taking care of also is the shadow that you see underneath that little trough area, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna pat this on like this in an upside down triangle, and then I'm gonna show you how I blend it in. Now with me, I also take a little bit and I highlight underneath my brow bone. You can highlight down the center of your nose with the same concealer. You can do the Cupid's bow, and I'm gonna do just one side, and then you can do a little bit on your chin. So anything that you want to come out or to conceal, that's what you're gonna use your concealer with. Then the key for this is a blending bud. And so we have 2 different sizes of blending buds. We've got the pink one, which is what I have here, which is the smaller of the 2, and then we have a larger one that's better for doing face stuff. But what you need to do is wet this, squeeze it out, and then use a a towel to get all the wetness out. So I can feel the wetness, but I can't squeeze any water out of it. And what you're gonna do is you're just going to pat with this, wherever you put that concealer, and it's gonna blend it in, but it's not gonna take it off by swiping. You don't wanna swipe. Hi Francis, hi Sandra. And the key when you blend what's underneath your eye is to look up when you do it. And so let me see if I can grab a mirror here. When I look up this way, it kind of stretches that skin just a little bit. And so by looking up as I'm blending it, it's pushing it into the skin. But when I look down is where I have the creases. And so look up when you do it, like hold a mirror above. I'm gonna do it just by feel here. But basically just blend that in again by looking up. And I'm patting, I'm not swiping because you don't want to swipe it off. And then you can add as much as you need to kind of get it all blended in. But see the difference already in how dark that is on me underneath. And so I'm going to add just a tiny bit more. I want to get it covered, and I'll just kind of add it in that area that I have most of the darkness. Hi Shelly, how are you? Hi Audie. Hope you guys are having a good, I don't know why when someone comes on I feel the need to shout their name like that. So sorry. Happy Sunday, everyone. And so again, just blend it. And this is with that damp blending bud. I put it underwater, I squeezed it all out, and then I took a towel and squeezed it out even more. And so just blend it in, look up, and make sure you're getting all the creases out. Because the key with this, when you look in a mirror, you want to make sure there are no creases. Because you're gonna set this with a little bit of setting powder, and if you set the creases in there, it'll set the creases in there. So you can use the warmth of your finger, but make sure that all the concealer is blended in and that you've got the creases out of it. And like I said, I just keep kind of adding in little layers until I get it how I want it. And you can kind of stipple with this brush too a little bit. But basically I just did that in that upside down triangle area. Yeah, if you do it damp, Audie, it doesn't take the product off. It just blends it in. If you do it dry, it sucks up the product in that sponge. And so I use a damp one, even if I'm doing foundation on my face. I make sure the bud is, blending bud, little blending sponge, whatever you call it, is damp. But again, put it under water and then make sure you squeeze it all out. You don't want to, when you squeeze it, you don't want any water dripping down. So you do it in a towel too. And so blend that in. Once you've got it how you want, then I'm going to use this damp blending sponge, and I'm going to go into my setting powder. And what I love about ours is it's got this little, it's really fine powder. First of all, it's translucent, so it's not going to change the color of your makeup at all. And it has this little, like a mesh screen on the inside. And then the actual container, the lid, has this little stopper. And so I can toss this in my purse and it's not all gonna spill out. It's gonna stay inside the container and it's not gonna all come out. So when I take the blending bud, this time I'll use probably the bigger end, and I just tap it in here, and then it gets a little bit of that setting powder on the blending bud. And then again, by looking up, because you don't want to look down and set the lines in there, you literally just tap the powder onto, and your sponge is moist, so you're tapping the powder. Hi Mom, how come you're laughing? You tap the powder onto the concealer, and what that does is it sets it in. And so you can set it wherever you put it. If you want to set it on your nose, I'm going to set my whole face at the end, but basically that sets that concealer, and you can see the difference. You can see the darkness that I have under here, and then you can see how it's highlighted underneath here. And for me, at my age, 56, I have those lines underneath my eyes, and so this sets it to where there isn't any creases, and it will last like this all day. It'll keep that nice highlight, and it keeps the concealer from setting in those lines. And then what I do when I'm ready to start doing the rest of my face is I set that on there, and so I use my brush and I just kind of go like this. I pat on my setting powder, and we have a setting spray too that you can use for your face if you're more of a setting spray type person. But I love the powder for setting that concealer in. And you can see the difference. I don't have concealer on this eye, and I just have, the older I get, the more, and it almost is like a purple color. And so for me, using organza, it has kind of a peachy undertone to it, and so it hides that color better. It's kind of opposite the color wheel. But look how good that looks, and it will stay like that all day. And so you can add a little bit more setting powder if you want, but it won't crease because I set it with my wet blending bud with a little bit of that powder. And again, set it by looking up at the ceiling so that you're not setting the wrinkles or the fine lines into your eye. But you can see I have face makeup on both sides, but I don't have concealer. Oops, my battery's going low. Already, it's only halfway through the day. The new iPhones don't hold their battery as well as the old ones did, because I haven't really been on my phone all that much. So again, you can kind of see, and I just did that upside down triangle. You can watch it from the beginning. I won't keep this too long just so that people that are watching it back can see. But I just used our liquid foundation on my face. This is super light. It's great for women as we age because it doesn't settle into the fine lines. It just kind of has that soft powder matte finish. And then I used our Touch Concealer, which this will literally cover tattoos even. And so it's amazing. And then I just set it with the Behold setting powder, which is translucent. I can toss this in my purse. I can touch up if I get a little bit shiny, any of the areas. And then I just use that blending bud to really pack it in and set. Hi, Mom. The powder is amazing. Yeah, that might be true. The powder also has kind of that blurring factor. All of our, and that's what I love about our foundation and our powders, because even the, the loose mineral powder that we have that is like a foundation, and then we have a pressed powder foundation, they all come in the same colors as the liquid. So we've got something for every preference and every skin type. But what I love about them all is they have that blurring factor. And they have a brown algae that will actually help the health of your skin as well. But it's such a lightweight formula that it doesn't set into fine lines, and it hardly even looks like there's no line at your neck. It doesn't really look like you're using anything, and it's so fast and easy. You just do a couple of drops on a brush, dot it off, blend it in, and then do the concealer in that upside down triangle. Pat it in with a moist blending bud, and then add a little bit of the setting powder on the moist blending bud underneath, and that concealer will stay like that all day, and I can go on to the rest of my makeup. So again, you can see the difference. I had this dark circle just like that on this side, and even though I still have that little trough, which I'll have just because of my age, unless I want to go in and have fillers, but I'm not doing fillers under my eyes, but I don't have the darkness. And so when I look straight on, you still see the darkness there, but this one I was able to cover up with our concealer, and because I set it in the way I did, it's not going to crease on me throughout the day. I can go about and do the rest of my makeup. So hopefully that was a quick and easy tip. If you have any questions, just post them below and I can get back to you. You can watch it from the beginning if you're just logging on, just to show how easy it is to do the concealer and to set it so that it won't crease throughout the day, okay? Bye guys, have a great Sunday. Talk to you soon, bye.